All right, good evening, good evening. Let me get things set up here and we'll get started. So I'm sorry the Facebook announcement went out a little late today. I thought I already had it scheduled to go out this morning. I woke up with a horrible migraine and there we go. So it went out a little later today. So hello, good evening, friends. I am Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Mid-Missouri. If you're on watching the live, give me a shout out. Tell me where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, just do a hashtag replay and let me know that where you're watching from. If you're checking me out on my YouTube channel, make sure you hit subscribe so you'll see other videos like this. Hey Angie, hey Rosie, thanks for joining. Rosie, thanks so much for that message. I saw this morning where it posted that I was doing a live and I thought, oh, I got it all done, but then it really wasn't there. So tonight we're going to do a fun fold sympathy card. So sympathy cards really, hey Mary, thanks for joining. Sympathy cards aren't normally something that I do fun fold wise, but this is a really beautiful, elegant pull out fun fold that I thought worked really beautiful with this Meandering garden suite. So this is a DSP pack that's available as an online exclusive. So you're not going to see it in the mini catalog. You're not going to see it in the annual catalog. You can only find this online in our online store. So make sure you check it out. Those particular items, we don't know when they're leaving. So when they're gone, they're gone. So if you love this paper, which I do, you'll definitely want to grab it. So I paired it, so I'm going to put this to the side. I paired it with two other online exclusives. The Garden Meadow stamp set, I used the Thinking of You. This is also an online exclusive. And then I used the Comforting Thoughts. This is probably my favorite online exclusive because we always have to have those sentiments for cards, thinking of you, sympathy, just uplifting cards. And this has a beautiful font, beautiful sayings. You don't want to miss out on this one. So grab this one. All right. So super easy card. I found this on Sue Moore's Aroma and Arts, this fun fold on her collection. So I'm going to use a little bit of different measurements than she did, just because I like to have just real thin matte areas versus those chunky 1/4 inch. So definitely check out my blog tomorrow for the measurements. Susan, I'm glad you like it. Thanks so much. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got a piece of Orchid Oasis, and this is just a standard 4 1/4 by 11 sheet of Orchid Oasis. I'm going to bring out my Simply Score tool so that we can get those nice, good score marks, and I am going to score at 2 1/2. I am going to score at 3 3/4. I am going to score at 6 3/4 and 8 1/4. Okay, so as I said, I love this tool because it gives that nice little score mark that makes it super easy to fold. Hey Nell, thanks for joining. All right, so this is folded, and let me grab my bone folder. If I could find it. There it is. All right, I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to fold it in a mountain and I'm going to burnish it. So this is going in a valley, the second one, and I'm going to fold that and then I'm going to open it and score it again. Then I'm going to fold another mountain. I'm going to burnish that. And then finally one more valley. I'm going to turn that way and give it a nice burnish. So what this does is this creates this kind of accordion effect. Right there you can see how it folds. So this is a super simple fun fold in my opinion, not a whole lot of work. Now the hardest part of this in my opinion, and the reason that I say this is because I had to do this twice, is deciding how I'm going to cut my paper. So let me bring out another sheet that's in a different pattern. So what you're going to do is you're going to use a 4-inch block right here. And so you want to decide whether you want this 4 inches or this 4 inches or, you know, the top 4 inches. So you kind of have to decide. So on this first one, what I did was I trimmed off about 1/4 inch on the top, and then I cut it from the top and did 4 inches. Okay, on this one, I just did it from the bottom. I just, you know, did 4 inches from the bottom. So like on this one, I would kind of want like this area shown. So I might take off 1 inch up here and then do 4 inches down that direction. So you'll definitely want to make sure you lay it out first. And it's going to take, because this is only a 6x6, it's going to take 3 sheets to get it done. So you're going to do a 4-inch block, and then you're going to do a 4-inch block on this direction. So it kind of layers. You can see there's some duplication here. See how that lays right there? And then this is covered up for the most part until you pull it out. So just something when you're to watch for when you're cutting. It would be really pretty with the Simply Xenia DSP that we have coming out, and just do a whole row of the Xenia pattern. Okay, so I have 2 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 blocks here out of Balmy Blue, and I'm just going to adhere that on with some seal. So this is more a card that we're going to show how to put it together than a lot of stamping with it. But one cool thing, oops, get that lined up a little better. So when I'm doing this, I usually, there we go. I add my seal to the top and to the bottom. That's usually more than enough. And then I just eyeball it, creating that nice little mat around the edge. Okay. And then this is 2 1/2, maybe, yeah, 2 3/8. So this is 2 1/4. That looks a little big. Do I have that? I don't have that basic or Balmy Blue cut out correct. Let's do that again. I'm glad I caught that before I... All right. Pull out my paper trimmer here. I'm glad I caught it before I finished it there. Hey, Lori, thanks for joining. Okay, so while I'm cutting this, I'm going to let you know what's going on next weekend. Next weekend is convention, our on-stage Stampin' Up convention. I'm going to be in Houston over the weekend. So, we'll see. That's not big enough either. Pooh. I may have to go with just a whole sheet of paper. So, I plan on being live Saturday or Sunday night when I get back. We're supposed to land fairly early. That's not going to work either. When all else fails, you just grab a whole piece. That'll get it done, right? So yeah, I'm going to be in Houston. Looking forward to seeing everybody. If you're there, make sure you give me a shout out. Otherwise, I plan on going live as long as there's no delays in my travel. All right, here we go. This should do it. There we go, finally. 3rd, 4th, 5th time's the charm. Hey, Gloria, thanks for joining. All right, take all this Balmy Blue out of the way. All right, we're gonna put this on here. So maybe there'll be some sneak peeks next Sunday. We'll see. See if they're gonna let us show that off. Okay, so, ooh. I forgot to stamp here. I'm going to glue that in here. And this doesn't, you can do like just a white because it's covered up. You could just do a white and stamp it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on this gorgeous DSP because it's beautiful. And you may as well use it. So I've got that stamp set from Comforting Thoughts. And I've got Orchid Oasis. And I think I'm going to stamp it right about there. Yep, that works. So right there, don't ever be afraid to stamp on that gorgeous DSP. It works just as well. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this piece here. So I'm going to put my seal right here on this versus the panel, because part of this is going to be open, so I want to make sure that I don't add seal and then I won't be able to open it. So there's that piece. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this front. So this will be pretty for any birthday card. You could do this fold for anything. And it'd be a nice display card. Pull that on there. There we go. So there's the mechanism right there. Yes, Mary, I love to stamp on DSP too. Well, thanks, Nell. I'm glad you like it. Yes, sometimes it's hard to cut into that DSP. You just got to, though. Okay, I die cut a piece of basic white with the stitched shape dies, and I did the third largest. And that may be the one that's right in the middle. And I'm taking that Thinking of You sentiment from Garden Meadows. Yep, Garden Meadows. And I'm inking that up in Orchid Oasis. Now, I'm going to take a piece of this gold trim. So this is an online exclusive as well. I didn't even realize when I was doing all of these today that this is really online exclusive heavy. The only thing that's not online exclusive is the cardstock. Like, that's it. So I'm going to take some seal and I'm just going to put it along this back because we're going to loop this ever so gently. I want that tag to kind of hang off a little bit. And then I'm going to bring it around and create a small loop. And I'm going to press it into that seal that I have there. I'm going to loop this around again. So this particular ribbon folds and looks gorgeous. And you get a silver piece and you get a gold piece in the online exclusive. All right, I'm going to cut that diagonally. And then we'll be ready to put that on the card front. And we're going to do that with some dimensionals. So I'm going to add some dimensionals right here. And if it hangs off a little bit on the front, it'll be fine because it's going to hang off over to the side. So it'll be perfect. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add that right there. So a nice, simple, easy card, perfect for beginners here. Okay, now I think the only thing we have left for the card is to add some of these. Once again, this is an online exclusive. These are adhesive back dragonflies and birds. I didn't check to see if this one was still available. I hope it is. So we're just going to do some birds here randomly. And these are a lot like the brass butterflies. They're so pretty. They're super delicate. There we go. I'm gonna tilt that a little bit. And there's our card. Just a beautiful sentiment. Beautiful card for a sympathy card, or someone got some bad news as far as their health goes. You could send them a nice uplifting card, and nothing is more uplifting than a beautiful set of wildflowers out. All right, there we go. Now let's do our envelope and we'll be done. So we'll just do a quick repeat. I'll be out of town over the week, most of the week, but we'll be back here next Sunday night, and maybe, I don't know, I haven't heard if we're going to be allowed to show the stuff that we bring back from convention or not. I think we usually can. So if that's the case, maybe I'll create something Sunday morning if I get home in time. A lot of it depends on the weather and you know, TSA and all that jazz. But our flight's pretty early. This week we've got a couple of log hops going on. Don't miss that. We're making spring cards for one of the vlog hops on Tuesday, so you don't want to miss out on that. There'll be a lot of great inspiration out there. I appreciate you guys spending part of your weekend with me. Here's today's card, a beautiful little fun fold. Gorgeous sympathy card using that. Fantastic online exclusive stuff. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you here next week.